I'm sitting here feeling grateful that our oaks and our land here were spared these fires that have been moving through here in central Portugal for the last week now, and came within about a 20-minute drive of us. So it just can bring up a lot of feelings and emotions, and I had been praying and connecting with Divine Mother around it the whole time, and kind of felt this morning it coalesce into a writing that I could share. And it also felt like a transmission in a sense as well. And it seemed to be supportive to people, especially souls who have chosen to be here in particularly central Portugal, Port of Grail, Lusitania energies, and seeding and feeling new earth grids here and supporting them as a soul calling. So I thought I would just read it, and you can feel into it for yourself and how it might resonate and what it stirs up. The fires moving through Portugal and Spain right now don't feel random, accidental, or even wild and natural to those of us awakening. Beyond the surface causes, they seem connected to deeper 3D and 4D matrix agendas that seek to fracture and destabilize the land here. The Iberian Peninsula carries ancient crystalline frequency grids in the quartz-rich mountains and spring inner earth waters that act as memory banks of Gaia's consciousness. These grids hold templates of higher, resolved Lemurian and Atlantian timelines, offering imprints of harmony, balance, and union with the divine. When the forests burn, it is not only the trees that are lost, but also the energetic fields they protect and amplify. The flames feel aimed at more than just land, yet are attempts to disrupt the crystalline resonance that naturally supports awakening and new earth, Gaia, timelines. And yet, from a divine self-embodiment perspective, even these dark agendas can become catalysts. Fire, in its elemental essence, is a purifier. It strips away what has become too dense, too tangled, too hidden, and reveals what endures. These fires also open a portal that pushes up collective grief and the sorrow of Gaia, of humanity, of lifetimes of loss. They give us an opportunity to feel, digest, and release with parts and soul aspects what has long been buried beneath numbness or distraction. When we breathe the smoke, when we feel the ache in our hearts at the loss of forests and creatures, we are invited not just into reactivity, but into compassion for the portal the reactions are, and where they take us into deeper self-understanding. Also, compassion and appreciation can arise for the land, for those directly impacted, and even, when we are ready, for those souls bound in greed and control. Forgiveness here and from Divine Mother's heart does not excuse the harm. It simply keeps us from being pulled into the same cycles of rage and destruction. It restores our sovereignty and divine connection. For those of us called here to Portugal, to the Port of Grail, this is more than an outer crisis, yet an inner initiation. We are being invited to rise up beyond the old way of battles and activism, but to take our place as quiet and devoted guardians and keepers of the Grail codes, to become living chalices that hold the reconciliation of Lemuria and Atlantis within us, to embody frequencies of peace and union and divine love that cannot be mined or destroyed. The Port of Grail is defended with our presence rather than weapons. Our bodies become temples, our hearts steady flames that the fire cannot consume. Intending our own healing and union within, we strengthen the grids. The land feels us and amplifies us. Gaia and we are in co-creation, her renewal entwined with our remembrance. You can feel this deep resilience and connection to the grids here in the locals who have chosen to live in these mountain villages for many generations and even lifetimes. There's a solidity in their trust and a humble centeredness in their processing of the experience of outside threats that is so admirable. They come together as a community in a natural way too that reactivates our human primal needs for tribal living, rather than being hyper-independent and isolated from each other in so much of the modern world. These mostly elders are a dying breed, and the younger generations have mostly left for the cities here, which also pushes up a void for those of us called to come to Portugal from other places around the world to fill in now best we can. So even as the smoke lingers and grief rises, there is a deeper invitation to feel, to forgive, to embody, to remember. To stand here as both guardians and beloveds of the new earth templates already alive in the crystalline heart of Gaia, already alive within our own. And much love to you and wherever you have chosen to anchor new earth inside of you and in your being and in your essence as we go through this transition out of the old and into the new. Much love to you.